You may think that Gorilla Tag fan games like Capuchin or Lethal Ape have the most eventful history of every other fan game, but you would be wrong, because Gorilla Tag Horror has easily the craziest history of any other Gorilla Tag fan game ever published. Gorilla Tag Horror is a Gorilla Tag copy, but unlike other Gorilla Tag copies, this is basically Gorilla Tag, but if it was a horror game. I honestly do not know where Gorilla Tag Horror was initially published, but I do know that it was published to SideQuest, and its name was later changed to the Funhouse, I'm pretty sure. I don't really remember. Because of copyright issues with another Axiom, the game was eventually wiped off the face of SideQuest, and other developers created copies of Gorilla Tag Horror, the most popular of which being Fun Monkey Horror. Lemon, the developer of Gorilla Tag Horror, later published the game to itch.io on August 8, 2024, but it is currently inactive. After Gorilla Tag Horror had pretty much almost been completely taken off the internet, as I have already stated, many people have made copies of Gorilla Tag Horror, and one of those is Fun Gorilla Horror. This one's not really going to be very long because it's not at all that very interesting, but Fun Gorilla Horror is a game released on the MetaQuest store on January 24th, 2024. The game was obviously a Gorilla Tag Horror clone. Fun Gorilla Horror does not have very much history, but it did eventually turn into a Capuchin clone. By the way, I forgot to say this, but for a time it did eventually just become the Backrooms, but with weird things in it, so yeah. Trash Runners was another Gorilla Tag Horror game. The reason why I say game instead of clone is because Trash Runners is similar to Gorilla Tag Horror, but it does have many differences. First of all, you are not able to access any other map besides Forest, and speaking of Forest, it was absolutely huge. But the Trash Runners Forest was pretty simple. It had the gazebo, the treehouse, trees, and monsters such as Slenderman, Cartoon Cat, Siren Head, etc. Trash Runners had an update that had various Gorilla Tag mods, and Forest was very well lit. I don't know what happened there. And during that time, I guess. I don't know, man. Also, please excuse my pauses. I'm trying to read this off of a script, and it's sort of working. I don't know. I have very uncomfortably long pauses sometimes. But it also had an option to play Old Capuchin by using your MetaQuest app and changing the version. And the game was later made unavailable on the MetaQuest store, but if you still had the game, there was just a screen with a link to the Trash Runners Discord. And Horror was brought back, but the game is currently inactive. And the game was also hacked once, but I didn't decide to talk about it because I don't know much about it. Gorilla Room is another game that was similar to Gorilla Tag Horror, but it was in the back rooms. The game was later changed to a Capuchin clone, and was also added into older Fun Monkey Horror as a button you can press on the computer, which that was before it became a Capuchin clone. And yeah, geez, moving on. Gorilla Tag Unspoken, or Gorilla Tag Horror OG, is just a Gorilla Tag Horror copy, not much to it.
It's time for the moment you've been waiting for.
Fun Monkey Horror.
Fun Monkey Horror was a Gorilla Tag Horror copy, but it had other maps besides the basic Gorilla Tag maps, those being Area 51, Level 188, and Place. I'm just mostly trying to remember this because I honestly do not remember but a later update removed the Gorilla Tag maps and replaced the tree or stump with a sort of lobby area with a computer in it. And to the left of the computer room were portals to the other maps, and the update added maps like GM Construct, pool rooms, and maybe crawl space? I don't remember. But the game stayed pretty much the same, except for new maps, of course, and city from Gorilla Tag being added. But sadly, the game was shut down for a while due to no copyright issues, and was also a paid game to raise money for servers, and also because they were sued, or something like that. I don't remember very well. After a long time, Fun Monkey Horror came back with a new lobby and new player models. The new lobby was very simple. You had the computer room, a room to connect the computer room to the map room, and the map room. The shop was also added later and was accessible from the room outside of the computer room. I had no clue what to call that room, and I still don't know to this day. Or, also the day I was, also the day that I started writing the script. Well, not the day that I started writing the script, I started writing the script yesterday. But the lobby also stayed the same except for new maps, obviously. And then the lobby was changed again, and this time it was much, much bigger. The computer room was pretty much still the same, but the door to the rest of the lobby was just inside of the computer room instead of another room being outside of the computer room. The main lobby had 2 floors, one had the shop and one had the maps. And during this era of Fun Monkey Horror, Crawl Space was changed because the original was too similar to Crawl Space 2, and it was still, and it was still a ventilation system, but the original monsters were just next spot versions, but the original monsters were just next spots of various recent memes such as gada gadi gada gada oh, skibbity toilet, quandale dingle, etc., etc. Fun Monkey Horror also had an event during this era, and it was a countdown to the new Fun Monkey Horror lobby. And this new lobby is more of a bedroom with a computer and an elevator, and the elevator takes you down to the maps and the shop. Not much to it. After this update, someone made a game called OG Fun Monkey Horror. This game was a clone of the Gorilla Tag era of Fun Monkey Horror. The game later had an update that changed the game into the first lobby in the post-Gorilla Tag era. The developers added new maps and kept the original maps as well as having the new maps. Well, as well as having, the revamped maps, you know what I mean. The lobby was also changed to the lobby before the one we have now, so the big one. And later, a button was added, sort of to the right of the computer, to download the Gorilla Tag era Fun Monkey Horror off itch.io, of course. I didn't really know what to say about Fun Monkey Horror 2, but Fun Monkey Horror is an unofficial sequel to Fun Monkey Horror, and this game features unique maps, new player models, and new cosmetics. There are also just many other maps, such as Slendy Tubby's Blurred, and a new crawl space map. That is pretty much all of Gorilla Tag Horror's history. I know I definitely missed something, but if I did miss anything, please let me know in the comments and I'll address it in a YouTube short. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, subscribe, click the notification bell, or not, it's up to you. Goodbye for now.